Hello, and welcome to my video on constructing EPANET to run on Amazon Web Services. So I'm looking at a tutorial on how to run EPANET on Amazon Web Services. This is intended for computer users, in particular Mac operating system users, that don't have a hypervisor such as Parallels or VMware, don't have a Windows operating system, but have a need to run EPANET. So a couple preliminaries. First, you have to have a working network connection, and because we're building and running EPANET on a remote server, and you're going to need an Amazon Web Services account, which is different from your ordinary Amazon account, but they're fairly easy to set up. They have a pretty grown-up billing model, so literally it's about $8 per month per month. You only pay month to month. You don't have to pay a year in advance. So you can create or log in at Amazon, aws.amazon.com. So I'm going to take this link to the sign in page, and sweet, and we want to sign in to the console. So I already have a Amazon account, so we get the slow spinning circle, which means it's thinking, something's thinking. Okay, so it actually already has me as signed in. We'll go to light sail. And we'll create an instance. So we're not going to use the instance that's already here. We'll create a new instance. So I click create instance. I'm going to run Virginia Zone 1. There's another Eastern Zone which is in Ohio, and for some reason for me I'm not able to actually get an instance built, so I don't think they have, it could be at my end. Anyway, we'll use the Virginia one. I'm selecting operating system only, server 2019. I'm not going to do a launch script, and I'm scrolling down, and I'm going to use the lowest price, the $8 a month one, which doesn't give me very much CPU. That's the main limitation. You'll find as over time you'll probably want to do the $12 a month, would probably be more than adequate for Windows programs that you would have to run at Texas Tech University and probably other universities. And you have the first month is essentially free. 750 hours is a lot of time, but we'll go ahead and leave it on the free tier. Once you build an instance and you can save it as a snapshot. It's easy to scale up any way that you want. It's impossible to scale down. So if you build a $40 instance, you can't change your mind and then run it later as an $8 one. That's not an option. So we've chosen our instance plan, and we're going to go ahead and hit create. Now it takes a little time to create it because it's having to go out there and build a computer. So the little electrons are doing their thing, and they're going to the local computer hardware store, and they're buying capacitors and resistors and integrated circuits, and now they're assembling it. They're really small, so they're hard to see, and they're assembling it, and they're pounding on it with hammers and sticks, and they're adding magic foo-foo dust and so on, and shortly we'll have a functioning operating system. And so now it claims our operating system is running. So we just left it as Windows Server 2019-1. What I'm waiting for is an icon to appear right here. It looks something like this one, but it's going to be a little picture of a computer. And at that point, I'm able to connect to my instance. So out of impatience, we'll go ahead here and we're waiting for this button here to turn orange like these ones. Once it turns orange, our instance is up and running and it's able to be connected to. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and grab a password, not running yet, and we'll need to grab it and save that password so we can make the connection through Microsoft Remote Desktop Protocol directly from the Macintosh. And you don't have to do that. You can always use the Amazon Web Services Management Console as your portal to get in and out of your remote machine. So we'll let that cook for a while and see if I could get back to our page. Hope I didn't just break something. No, I still have that there. Okay, so we've essentially created the instance and we're waiting for it to make this connection. So the long wait is usually just the first time. Afterwards, if we leave it running, it's up and running and always available. Still not yet. Once we get it running, we're going to download and install EPANET into the software, into the program, and then we'll go ahead and run it, and then we'll disconnect from the instance. We'll go ahead and install Remote Desktop on the Mac. In fact, we'll probably do that right now while we're waiting. No, we don't have to. So the connection is now available. We'll go ahead and we'll click on the orange button. Now we don't have to supply a password this connection because it knows it's us. And it's going to take a little bit of time for the instance to come to life. And subsequent connections won't take as long. While that's going on, let's go ahead and I was going to go ahead and download the client. We'll save that. So now we're almost ready. I'm waiting for a web browser to become available. Web browser is now available. I'm going to choose no for my network connection. Let it run its startup script, and we should be ready to go. So I've clicked on the E icon to get Internet Explorer, and we'll now wait for it to load. And this is, in my opinion, probably the hardest part that we have to do. We'll go ahead and accept the defaults, and we just need to be cognizant that the enhanced level security makes everything we want to do hard. That's why it's called hard. Hard admin, how to make things hard. EPANET. So we're running a Bing search and it's immediately going to tell us that Bing Bong is not in the exception list, so we're going to add it. Choose add, choose close, and then it's going to tell us that Rapid Bing Bong is not in it, so we're going to add it. Choose close. Blank is not in their exception list. That's really fun, so we're going to have to add it. Choose close. Login is not there. And I'd like to blame Microsoft for this nuisance. I suspect because we're doing a remote desktop connection that everything is considered insecure. Okay, so it's going to be patient with us now. So we could go through the front door, but let's skip a step and go to EPANET 2.2. And now the US government is insecure. That we already know collectively. Add it, choose close, add it, choose close. That I believe is some way that the government uses to be sure we've paid our income taxes. There's undoubtedly a way to do this where you can turn all the security off, and I am intentionally avoiding telling it to quit showing this screen because I've got to believe that this is a okay, so it looks like we're now going to be allowed to scroll down a little bit. Oh, classic. It didn't even get me to the right place. Would you just stop? So I want to get to download, but it would require the screen to quit scrolling. There we go. Choose download. And now we got to go through setting exceptions. Self-extracting program. So we click on that, we're going to get another security warning, and it's not even going to allow us to do a download. Oh, that's really annoying. However, I have a workaround. We go to Atomic Kitty, ddns.net. Let's get out of this secure world into a world that actually works. Funny how that is. We'll add Atomic Kitty to the exception list. Choose close. Google APIs to the exception list. Add it. Choose close. And now we're at the Atomic Kitty server. Let's get a little bit more working visual real estate going. I want to get to these 3 lines here because hopefully that will give me my software link. And I want to go to EPANET for Windows. And we'll take current installer, this server, which on 18th of May 2020 was copied from the EPA. And right click, save target as. And hit save. And it's working. So once it arrives, we'll go ahead and run the setup program and run EPANET to prove it's installed and then disconnect. So I selected open folder. It's on my local downloads, and we'll go ahead and run the thing. So I'm double clicking on it and accept the defaults. Nice thing about a virtual machine is you really don't care what you do with defaults because you can always wipe the machine from the face of the earth and start over. So we'll let it do the install. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and launch it, the first launch. I can close these windows now. That one can go away. Ta-ta for now, that one. And so there's our EPANET 2.2 interface. Let's open one of the examples that's distributed with that, and we'll have to do a little bit of searching to find it. So EPANET installs itself in local disk C, program files x86, EPANET 2.2, examples, and let's just I'll pick example 1. Press open, we get a picture, run it, and I'm looking for this output. So we've pretty much verified we have a successful install of the current version of EPANET 2.2, and we can exit, and we're done. So we did all that on a Macintosh working through the internet through an instance on Amazon Web Services. Then to exit our connection to the instance, I just clicked on the little window thing. We choose this picture of administrator, click on it, and one of the options is going to be sign out. We take that option and we should get a disconnection warning right now. It says, so an error occurred, we can't stay connected. That's not an error. We did that on purpose. So now we are disconnected, but that instance is still running. It's waiting for interaction. So the current address of that is 34.201.251.173. And later on you can change that using a domain naming system server. But I'm going to copy that address, and we'll move on to the next part of this video, which is to download and install remote desktop on a Macintosh. So bear